Hi, it's Barry Hinckley, and I'm the primary drafter of the Redeclaration of Independence. And I'd like to give you a quick overview of what our intentions were when we drafted and posted the Redeclaration of Independence. Primarily, it's an accountability project. And I think most Americans can agree, whether they are on the left, the right, or in the center, like many, many Americans are, that things aren't great right now. Let's face it, $34 trillion in debt. And to put that into perspective, 1 trillion seconds, if you count to a trillion, that's almost 32,000 years. And that's what we're shouldering upon our children, not to mention the wasted opportunity of spending hundreds of billions of dollars a year on interest payments that we get nothing for other than interest payments. We don't get parks, we don't get bridges, we don't get roads, we don't get schools. We get interest payments. That is a travesty, and that travesty has been created by Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is so much larger, and by Washington, D.C., I mean the federal government, is so much larger than our founders designed. This is a constitutional republic. This is not a plural democracy like France. We are a constitutional republic, and our founders designed that for a reason. The power was meant to be distributed in the states and to the people, and we would have a small and limited federal government. However, that script has flipped. Our federal government is massive and out of control, and we believe we need an accountability project to rein in our federal government through its representatives. And that's exactly what we intend to do with the Redeclaration of Independence. We've outlined 12 tenets, and we could write more, but we're starting there. And we believe that if we can use those tenets to hold our representatives and the candidates running to replace them accountable to we the people, we can then drive change in Washington, D.C., and hopefully reign in our country for future generations, because that's what we are responsible for. At the end of the day, Thomas Jefferson said it, Reagan said it, they all said that it is the responsibility of every generation to fight for liberty. And let me tell you, slavery through debt is not liberty. And that is what's happening to Americans right now. The middle class, the lower class, which is most of us, are getting crushed by the federal government and its overspending. And not only that, along the way to spending us into the grave, they are stealing our freedom and our liberty. We are now indentured servants to Washington, D.C. And we aim to change that with the Redeclaration of Independence by getting present and serving representatives and senators, as well as candidates running to replace him, to sign on to the Redeclaration of Independence and committing to fighting for these 12 tenets. And the idea is if you fight for these 12 basic tenets, which are not radical, things like balanced budget, term limits, these are not radical concepts. If they fight for those, then they will also fight for the things that matter when new issues come up. So please give the Redeclaration of Independence a read, pass it on to your friends, your family, and more importantly, insist that the representatives representing you sign this Redeclaration so you have a measuring stick to hold them accountable when they come back from Washington, D.C. and ask for their job back. Thank you very much, and we will continue to see you here at the Redeclaration of Independence.